Who's going to coach it? One of Jokic's brothers? Zan Keefe? This late in the season is crazy. 2 weeks from the playoffs. You're the 4th seed right now. A game and a half back from the 3rd seed, and your coach is gone.
Well, I just don't get it. This does not give them the best chance to win a championship. And I wouldn't be shocked if Joker demands trade this summer.
No, we got an opening in LA.
At the end of the day, there is only one man to blame. Russell Westbrook, you are a snake. You know, if you weren't on this team, I'd still be employed.
Mike Malone spent a decade commanding the Denver sideline, guiding Nikola Jokic to an MVP and delivering the city its first championship. Now, the front office has yanked the clipboard out of his hands. Fans are in disbelief, players are side-eyeing management, and studio analysts can't stop debating whether this move is brilliant timing or sheer self-sabotage. What was once a budding dynasty now feels like a live-wire experiment, and the entire league is watching for sparks. One moment he's pacing and yelling on the sidelines, the next, he's packing up with the playoffs looming. This wasn't a rebuilding year. This wasn't a team in free fall. This was the Denver Nuggets, top of the Western Conference, led by the coach who transformed Jokic from a pudgy second-round pick into a generational superstar. The franchise's winningest coach, tossed aside like a bad timeout call. And now, the basketball world is scrambling to make sense of it, but forget the talking heads for a moment. In this video, we're diving into the raw, unfiltered reactions from the people who actually live and breathe the NBA. You'll hear it straight from the source, from real-time shock to brutally honest takes. By the end, we'll know if Denver just executed a genius culture reset or punched a hole straight through their championship window. First up, Draymond Green. And if there's anyone who knows the ins and outs of a championship locker room, it's him. He's seen it all: egos, burnout, coaching clashes, you name it. Green hit the ground running, breaking down exactly what went wrong in Denver's locker room and why. To him, the decision wasn't all that surprising.
To hear people say it coming out like, oh yeah, they were getting tired of Mike Malone's hard style. Like, it makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, people, but even aside from being a player, BD, people get tired of being pushed.
Draymond pulled back the curtain on what might have been simmering behind the scenes. The locker room wasn't necessarily toxic, just exhausted, worn down by the same demanding voice year after year. But just when it seemed like he was siding with the players, Draymond flipped the narrative. He made one thing perfectly clear: being tired of hard coaching isn't an excuse, it is the problem.
When I look at him being fired, though, you hear the reports of like, people tired of his voice, they're tired of his hard coaching. I'm sorry to say, but unfortunately, that's why people don't win. Because you get tired of hearing the voice that led you to being a winner.
Draymond isn't blaming Malone, he's calling out the team. If Denver needed a softer touch after winning a title, maybe the issue wasn't the coach yelling. Maybe it was the champions who stopped listening. Early in this story, a hard truth emerges: comfort doesn't win rings. And if Denver let go of the very edge that got them to the top, they may have traded urgency for silence. And silence doesn't last. If there's anyone who thrives in chaos, it's Draymond. He built his legacy on boldness, buckets, and shaking up locker rooms just to watch the pieces fall. So when he weighed in on Malone's firing, you knew it wouldn't be gentle. He started with the obvious: Jokic isn't the problem, not now, not ever. But the rest of the locker room? That's a whole different story.
Jokic is going to be Jokic. I don't really think he gives two who the coach is. But as a group, they probably wasn't listening to him anymore.
To Gilbert, the coach didn't lose the X's and O's battle, he lost the locker room. But he didn't stop there. He stepped into GM mode, analyzing the situation as if he were the one calling the shots. And in his eyes, the decision had already been made.
He knew he had no choice, and at some point it was going to happen. Now or later, I'm firing him, so it doesn't matter.
And it doesn't stop there. Gilbert wasn't just talking about Malone, he was pointing to the real storm brewing behind the scenes. And in his view, the spark that lit the fuse had one name: Russell Westbrook.
Everybody else was upset at the favoritism that he was playing towards Russ. Right, and that's that narrative. Russ ruins every team. I'm pretty sure he does, but not in the way you think. Him coming over there being an example will rub people the wrong way, and that's what ended up happening.
Forget the usual Russ bashing, Gilbert flips the narrative. He's not claiming Westbrook ruined anything. Russ simply did what he always does: show up, play hard, and set a tone. That made some people uncomfortable, not because he was a problem, but because he demanded a level of effort others weren't willing to match. Gilbert's takeaway? If a change needs to happen, don't drag it out. Make the move. Just don't act surprised when it leaves a mark. If Denver was already tuning Malone out, this wasn't sabotage, it was survival. Then there's a voice you don't hear in every NBA headline, but when he speaks, it demands attention. Andrew Bogut isn't about drama or hot takes. He's about cutting through the noise with sharp, logical clarity. And when he learned Malone had been let go, he didn't vent, he went straight to the history books.
Mike Malone now holds the record as the head coach fired in season with the most games played at 79 till they were fired. And he's tied with Hubie Brown actually, but they both hold the record now all time. The most games into a season fired. And the most wins in a regular season when fired, 47, which is tied with Larry Brown. So the Brown brothers both hold those records, but Malone's now tied with them. Useful.
Andrew doesn't need to yell to show how strange this situation is. He simply shares the numbers and lets the silence speak volumes. 79 games. 47 wins. Fired. That's not just unusual, it's downright shocking. It's rare to see a coach let go this deep into a season with a winning record, and even rarer during a title defense. When Andrew asks his final question, whether it matters or not, he's not joking. He's drawing a line between stats that justify a decision and stats that reveal its absurdity. Being tied with two legendary coaches for one of the most baffling, poorly timed firings in NBA history isn't a point of pride. It's a cautionary legacy. Then came Jamal Murray. Calm in front of the press, but his words made it clear just how monumental this move was, not just for him, but for the whole team. He wasn't dodging questions. He was processing the reality in real time, explaining what Mike Malone truly meant to the Denver Nuggets, not just as a coach, but as the heart and backbone of the team's identity.
Yeah, I mean, coach always has had my back. From a young kid coming in this league and up until now, he's always rooted for me. Like I said, always had my back and always kept me in good spirits, you know what I'm saying? So I want to give that kind of same energy to him, the same kind of respect. We don't get here, without him. I think not just with him. I think he's done a great job of also setting the example for the group behind us.
This isn't a simple tribute. It's a heartfelt acknowledgement from a cornerstone of the franchise, someone shaped by Malone both on and off the court. To Murray, Malone was more than a coach, he was a constant presence, a guiding force from day one in the league. Murray made it clear, the Nuggets wouldn't have reached championship heights without him. When he praises Malone for setting an example for the team, he's pointing to leadership that doesn't appear in press releases or post-game soundbites. It's the quiet influence, the steady compass that keeps a young team aligned in the moments no one sees, and now, that glue is gone. This wasn't a case of a veteran coach overstaying his welcome. This was a seismic shift in the heart of the franchise. This was a coach the players still trusted, a coach who stood shoulder to shoulder with Murray through injuries, playoff heartbreaks, a championship chase, and everything in between. Murray didn't call the firing a mistake, and he didn't need to. His words said it all. Malone wasn't just a chapter in the Nuggets story. He helped write it. And removing him this close to the playoffs? That's more than a leadership change, it's rewriting the script while the ink is still wet. Now, let's talk Paul Pierce. Love him or hate him, when he speaks truth, there's no doubt behind it. He doesn't sugarcoat. He doesn't hedge. He played at the highest level, won a title as the go-to guy, and knows exactly what it takes to survive a playoff grind. So when he sees a team undermining its own chances before the postseason even begins, he's not going to stay silent.
This is my thing. You got the best player in the league, clearly. Like, he may win MVP, he may not. But to me, it just tells me Denver is not serious. Since they won a championship, they failed to re-sign the players that they had to help them win the championship. They regressed in the role players, and they said, hey, we're just going to plug and play and just hopefully our best player can cover our weaknesses. This is just telling me that the Denver Nuggets, by firing their coach a week before the playoffs, this does not give them their best chance to win the championship.
This isn't just frustration talking. This is a seasoned veteran calling out a front office for getting too comfortable with greatness, thinking chemistry, vibes, and one transcendent player could carry them through. To Pierce, it's not about whether Jokic can carry the team, he already has. The real question is, why is he being forced to? This is a team that should be chasing a dynasty, not scrambling to find its identity. By firing the coach who built the entire foundation from the sidelines, Denver didn't just cut Malone, they cut their own momentum. Championship windows don't always announce themselves when they're closing.